Well, so we're ready to look at all the stories are on the front and back pages of the various newspapers. We'll try as much as possible to look at foremostly how they've been summarized on the news portal myjoyonline.com, and so we'll quickly go and do that. And in the meantime, though, you get there, you get to see that many of the stories have been summarized. You see on the front page of the Daily Graphic, it's been captured. Prank turns fatal at Prempeh College. Another prank just in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Talking about pranks and how people don't tend to mean what they want to do, because students, teaching and non-teaching staff of the Prempeh College in Kumasi, that very famous school, have found themselves in a state of shock when a final year student of the school fell from the second floor of his dormitory to his death last Friday. If you read the story in detail, it'll tell you it was just part of a joke at the time, but now it's no joke. It's led to the loss of life.
And the second person involved is critically injured. We're told he's got some fractures. And these were final year students.
Final year students. Yeah. Well, God be with them. President Mahama raps self-seeking pastors. President John Dramani Mahama has deplored the attitude of self-aggrandizement among some pastors in the country, saying the attitude defeats their all as men of God. What does he mean by that?
I'm not sure, but there's another angle to this particular story.
What did he mean?
I don't know. Maybe you probably have to grab the paper and read the details to get the understanding. But this same President Mahama story has a different angle. That's on myjoyonline.com that I'll be bringing to you.
Okay. We'll have hostage. Police rescue announced aid in Tamale, and this was a story that broke within Newsfile on Saturday, and it says the police in Tamale will today put before court Adamu Asuma, 35, one of the people who are said to have allegedly masterminded the kidnapping of a member of the Tagai PI team that work with undercover journalist Anas Aremi Yawanas on his expose on bribery in the judiciary. Charlie, PI team, they need all the protection they can get. Anas boy kidnapped, that's on the front page of the Daily Guide, over bribe judges. And we have Stop Begging and Nana Tells Mahama. And the 2016 presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has said that the much needed investors will continue to elude the country if the investment climate is not conducive. We also have customs betray cement manufacturers, and it talks about cement manufacturers in the country having expressed disappointment in the customs division of the GRA for allowing importers of bad cement from China to make under declaration on their goods just to sabotage the local industry. Unfair competition is not good for any industry at all. Finder has on the front page, Power Badge arrives in November 10. Oh, as for this energy crisis and the promises we're giving. Barring any last-minute hitch, the first power badge to produce 225 megawatts of electricity to alleviate the rolling power cuts, Christian Dumso, is expected to arrive in Ghana on November 10, 2015. We'll have utility providers seek over 220% tariff increment. They won't get. I know that. I'm sure there'll be protests on the streets. And Dan Adams risk losing WHO antiretroviral drug certification. Dan Adams, a pharmaceutical company, the only antiretroviral drug manufacturer in Ghana and one of the 3 in the West African sub-region, has made a passionate appeal to government to support it attain a World Health Organization pre-qualification certification to enable it to expand its frontiers into the international markets. Government, please.
Why they can't do it on their own? What does it entail?
Unless I read the story adequately. I think if we can speak to Dan Adams, it'll be good. Yeah, we'll try as much as possible to get in touch with them, Dan Adams. Yeah. And we have the General Telegraph, 15 appeal court judges given High Court duties, and 15 justices of the Court of Appeal, they've signed up to undertake additional High Court responsibilities, principally to make up for the shortfall arising from the impeachment proceedings. And I think another headline we should give, Anas shorten number of personnel.
Oh,
In
please.
judicial. Oh, that is journalism. You can give different headline. What is a police for? Police for what? I'm giving my own. If I was an editor, I'll also give. Anyway, but that's just on the side. And re-examine cases handled by judges implicated in judicial scandal. And that's from Dr. Reku Brobe,
AKA Tazan.
AKA.
Should we seriously go back and look at the cases? Wouldn't it be a bit too much?
Nothing wrong.
Maybe individuals, if you feel that perhaps you suspect that something went down the table in your particular case, you probably can bring it back to the attention. But I think that we have to wait for the processes to end before, because now you don't know if they're guilty or not guilty.
Sure.
So you can't start recalling all the cases that they've sat on in the past.
But talking about that, then there is a question about, because their names have been bandied around and they are, let's say one or two or a couple of them are exonerated by the committee set up by the Chief Justice, what happens to their reputation?
Well, I mean, that's the other side of things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you deal with it.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
I love that. BNFT, the Business and Financial Times, has its lead story: employers shortchange workers, and the future of thousands of workers in the private sector hangs in the balance. Like people like us, as the National Pensions Regulatory Authority has found that 40,856 employers have failed to pay workers' pension contributions in the Tier 2 of the new pension scheme. I need to go and check mine. This is serious. Industry must reach out to academia, Spio Gabra, and we've been hearing this rhetoric. Nothing is usually done about
Is it not the Tier 2 that there are issues in terms of who manages? So if that thing is not sorted out...
No, Tier 2 is not. This is the first tier.
No, this one says the Tier 2 of the new pension scheme. The issue with the public workers and the management of that fund, that's Tier 2, isn't it?
That's where
that issue has to be cleared, like ASAP. Because, I asked the question of, so where is the Tier 2 now? How...
I think it's even more to do with the private sector agencies or the private sector organizations.
I'm thinking that this has more to do with public.
No, not necessarily.
Because for people like us, we have Tier 2 managers already.
This one is about the private sector.
Oh, private sector. So it means that people working in private...
Like you and I.
But I know that my Tier 2 is being paid.
We're supposed to have a trustee.
Yes.
That will manage the funds.
But I know mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know yours.
Yes.
We're talking about... generically, you look at everybody else.
But even apart from this Tier 2, I know that some people are not even paying the normal SNIT contributions to workers.
They are defaulting.
Yeah. And some workers also fear that drawing the attention of the authorities would mean they're probably losing their jobs.
Or they can be whistleblowers, or making sure that their identities are not.
Yeah, but there are some people who simply don't care.
Well,
they would realize they should have cared someday.
I care about some of these things a lot because it all borders on your future, the state of your finances when you grow up.
Yeah, sometimes
and you don't want to be living a life in which you're having a lot of difficulties. But because when you grow up, you may not have a lot of responsibilities, perhaps like childcare, that is if you've given birth early and things like that. But you have a lot of health care issues.
Yeah, but sometimes I know people don't follow up because the money is so clear. Let me take you back to myjoyonline.com. We'll look at two stories quickly. So this issue about police charging a man who allegedly kidnapped Anas's Tiger Eye PI team member. Just a little bit of it for you on the page. So it says that police have charged a man with kidnapping and assault for allegedly abducting a member of the Anas RMAL, Anas's Tiger Eye PI. ASP Ebenezer Tete, spokesperson for the police in the Northern Region, told Joy News Adamu Asuma will be put before court today while they continue search for other accomplices. You can continue to read the story in detail. You realize the guy who was allegedly kidnapped, Ishmael Hussein, he says he's been traumatized by the incident. Is there any help that we can give him? That's another angle to this whole conversation. Let's check out this other story. Pray for those in authority. Mahama cancels And the story says that President Mahama has called on Ghanaians to pray for those in authority as he begins his tour of the Western region ahead of the National Democratic Congress presidential and parliamentary primaries on November 7. Prayer alone, Mr. President, won't do the trick. They've got to deliver. That's what it is. I mean, when God gives you the opportunity and everything like we all have, you have to perform. Otherwise, you don't have a job. Let's check out what City FM is also reporting. 8 in 10 Ghanaian politicians are glorified thieves. That's according to Professor Dai. I mean, he says it as it is. Let's bring you a bit of that story. He says one of Ghana's recognized academicians, Professor Stephen Adai, has alleged that at least 8 out of 10 politicians in Ghana are thieves. The immediate past rector of the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration described the honorable men and women representing the citizenry in the legislature as glorified thieves. At least 8 in 10 politicians in Ghana are glorified thieves, although almost every need of theirs is met by the state. We have to stop it, he warned. You can go on and read the details of this one. It would generate a lot of commentary today, I know. Another story here, our corrupt MPs even take bribes for their girlfriends. Okay, that's another angle to this same publication. Again, Professor Dai in the middle of it. And according to him, some shamefully go to the extent of demanding additional bribes that will cater for their girlfriends. And this is good. I've got to read this. The other day, somebody asked me a question, and I was so shocked. The person asked whether I gave bribe to Parliament for them to pass Gempers law, not knowing that now, if you want Parliament to pass anything else, not only do you bribe the committee, but after they have gotten their share, they ask you, where is our laptop? In other words, you haven't made provision for our girlfriends. It's time now in Ghana for us to rise and for us to lay the foundations of righteousness in the next generation. Train your children to be servant leaders wherever they are, unquote. Oh my God, is he going to appear before the Privileges Committee? I see something in here coming out. Okay, so finally we'll do a bit of BBC and then it's a wrap. Okay, let's see. Guineans vote in presidential poll. Story says that Guineans are voting in what is only the second democratic presidential election since the country won independence in 1958. Maybe, Fred, if you can click on it, we can check out the date, the exact date for that votes. Okay, just before we wrap up on this one. Okay, so 7 candidates are competing, and the election, okay, it doesn't give a date. Is it today? We'll give you the details, but you can go onto the website if you're interested and check out the stories in detail. Okay, so that will be it from us. We have to make way for sports. Up next.
Baba Tano will be here to give us the latest details. She has a lot of news from the camp of the Black Stars, and we know the Black Stars, they are going to play Canada. That's going to be somewhere, when? Tomorrow? Mama V, when is the Black Star playing Canada?
I thought it was yesterday, but I didn't see the game, so no, maybe today.
It's never.
It wasn't it? It's tomorrow. I was monitoring. I thought it would be Sunday, and then I didn't see it. Okay. So I said maybe today or tomorrow. I'm not sure. Baba will tell us.
It's tomorrow. Oh, this is so sad.
But you didn't know.
If it was,
you didn't know at all.
I was just trying to tease your mind. I apparently didn't know. I knew. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll have a lot more sports for you from Baba Tando.